Good evening, Namaskar. I, Kriti Vadhera, would like to welcome all the viewers, scholars for NISHTHA's live interaction program. We are going to discuss a module here. It's going to be Pedagogy of Social Sciences, and the experts who have joined us for this interaction, I would like to introduce Professor Aparna Pandey. Good evening, Madam. Namaskar. We welcome you to Kishore Manch. And Professor Gauri Srivastava has also joined us. Namaskar, Madam. We welcome you.
Namaskar.
Both are from Department of Education in Social Sciences, NCERT. And starting with today's discussion, I would like to tell my viewers here that the live streaming of this module discussion is telecasted on YouTube channel as well of NCERT official. And there also many experts are available to address your questions. Kindly send questions in the live chat box. We would also be taking up the question the last segment of the program. So starting with today's discussion, first I would like to bring in Professor Gauri. Ma'am, so what it is all about, Pedagogy of Social Sciences, what we are going to discuss today.
Thank you so much, Kriti. We are going to discuss on the teaching of social sciences. All of you who are seeing us, I'm sure you'll be doing teaching and learning of social sciences. Pedagogy of social sciences is a process. It makes the text come alive in a classroom context. Yes, you may ask a question only in the classroom. No, it can be outside also, because pedagogies are sometimes woven in the text. The one that you are engaging the student in a classroom context, and when you do an activity related to text, you are outside the classroom. When we talk of social sciences, it draws its content from different subject areas like geography, history, political science and economics. Now when I talk of pedagogy, I am actually focusing on the process of learning, because as you all know, there is a very interesting proverb that says destiny takes place in the classroom. Recall your own student days and find out for yourself, why did I get interested in a subject? What was the way it was taught to me? Did I get my concepts clear? When you have these questions in mind, automatically the focus is on pedagogy. Now this is a small diagram that I want to show you. Our module is with you where we have discussed in detail the process of teaching social sciences, but you may add on to what the slide shows, because I thought the more we get clear on the teaching practices, the more we try to make the children interested in the subject. Now for example, you can see this PowerPoint presentation. It talks about the text, because we have the text with us, that is social sciences, and the presentation you can see draws the theme from different content areas. Now in the process of teaching, what do we want to promote? We want to encourage students' participation. We want to promote questioning attitude in them. We want them to share their doubts and add to the body of information. Many of our children today know the theme well in advance. Some are good readers, some link it with their own context. So as a teacher, we must try to see, are we giving them opportunities? This is the process that pedagogy focuses upon. Then what do we want to aim at? We want certain learning outcomes, because we know and we are aware that every child learns differently. But there are certain expectations which we as a teacher have as well as the student. Draws cause and effect relationship, is able to demonstrate varieties of skill, because how do we know that a particular theme has been understood by the child? Then locate places on map, then analyze and interpret information, classify and compare facts and phenomenon. This is what the pedagogy should aim at. Now we come to another diagram which I would like to share, that is the process of transaction is very, very important, because texts do not speak. You have to throw light on the text which has to come alive in a classroom context. When we teach, we want to help the children try and link it up with the other disciplines of social sciences. Then we want children to understand the concept, locate it in their subject, or link it with their other subjects that they are teaching. For example, environment, settlement pattern, disaster, you can go on adding to it. Then exploring resources, because the pedagogical process and teaching and learning material together are very important for a subject to become engaging and interesting. You may be using in the classroom context different varieties of aid which we will be showing you in our presentation, but sometime you are also encouraging the children, and when you use it, the children also have the capability and ability to also substantiate to what you are doing. Then we want the children to develop skills of communications, communicating their ideas orally as well as in a written form, which we today call as 21st century skill, which includes many more. But we want that through this transactional strategy, they should be able to develop these skills, and they should be sensitive towards human as well as natural phenomena. This is what the social sciences aims at. It should draw sensitivity towards different social concerns like gender, concerns for the marginalized groups, concerns for the environment, for making the child not only well versed in the text but as a human being, because classroom shapes personality. What but you and the students, when they engage meaningfully in the class, can achieve this. Social sciences pedagogy also helps in developing a strong database. Many of us know about various indicators. For example, you have indicators on education, dropout, never enrolled. Then you have indicators on mapping resources. You have indicators which show you a comparative figure of different sectors of development. You are in a way promoting development of indicators as well as encouraging child to make indicators themselves, then helping them to work for sustainable human development goals. Social science aims at all these developments that take place in the teaching and learning of social sciences. As I said, use of materials. This is also a very important component, because participatory pedagogy should be substantiated by teaching and learning material. A variety of material which should be linked with a theme should be encouraged, because you are promoting creativity, interest, concept clarification, and motivating the child to link facts and phenomena across time, space, and institution. So social science pedagogy is all about making the classroom interesting and come alive. I am sure you are doing it. We will be adding on to it. Now I would request my esteemed colleague Professor Aparna Pandey to kindly add on to the teaching and learning of geography.
Thank you, Professor Srivastava. As you have informed that there are 4 subjects in social sciences: history, geography, political science, and economics. The module which we have developed for this program, NISHTHA, we have included one theme which is related to geography, and this is globe, latitude, and longitude. This subject, geography, is one of the subjects in social sciences which draws contents from natural sciences as well as from social sciences. That is why we say that this is a bridge between natural sciences and social sciences. It joins both the sciences. And when we talk about latitude and longitude, the concept related to location, the concept related to a specific location or relative location, then this concept is related to mathematics. In mathematics, if a student have learned about, if they have understood about parallels, then we can discuss about latitudes and longitudes on the globe, which help us to locate places on the Earth's surface. So there is a need to make students understand that these are imaginary lines. How do we receive letters? At our address, or we just call app based services, for whether it is related to taxi services or any other online services we are available. So how do they reach the destination? Because of this location, because of the latitudes and longitudes, this gives information about the places, exact places on the earth's surface. So there is a need to make a student understand with the help of globe. Sometimes we have found that if teachers are not from geography background, they have studied history or other subjects during their graduation, they skip some things related to these concepts, and they ask students to memorize the contents and give answer which are the questions which are given at the end of the text. So students, they just memorize. But I would like to say that this is map skill or location, or this is a life skill. When we are using GPS nowadays in our mobile phones, have you noticed that information about latitude, longitude is also given on GPS on your mobile phone? This time also you can open your phone and on your GPS services, and then when you will on, you will see at one corner it is given latitude and longitude. So whatever information about location we have on the earth's surface, because of these latitude and longitude. So how do we teach? How should we teach this concept in the classroom? First of all, let students play with the globe. No need to explain what is there in the globe. Ask students to explore globe on their own. Ask them what do they observe. There are several types of lines, whether these are vertical lines or horizontal lines. Some lines are broken, some lines are zigzag. So let them identify these lines on the globe. Ask them how many colors do they observe on this globe, and ask why these colors have been used on the globe. There are North Pole and South Pole. Ask them, where are these? Have they observed these things? So just facilitate them to understand these things which are shown on the globe or on the map. Sometimes we feel that students, they do not observe few things. They just memorize that which line is bigger, which circle is bigger, which circle is small. Let them measure these circles on their own. Give them thread, give them tape, and ask them to measure different circles, different lines which are given on the globe, and discuss which one is bigger. There are great circles. Which circle is known as great circle? Among latitudes, there is one great circle. Which one is great circle? Others are small circle. So let them observe, let them find out. No need to tell them. And when you will engage them in this teaching learning process, and one thing I would like to say, when you will take interest in teaching learning process, then only a student will take interest. If you are not taking interest, you are just teaching as you are thinking that it's my duty to teach. No, you should love your profession. Then only a student will like to learn these concepts in the classroom, and teaching learning environment may be created. When I say that how we can inspire students to learn more and more, when you will ask some different types of questions, which is also given in the module. Where do we live on the globe? And I'm sure when you will ask this question, most of the students will say that we live inside the globe. And this is research based. So many researches have been done in this area at international level. And students at upper primary stage or primary stage, they say that we live inside the globe. Then we can think that, okay, they do not have understanding of gravitational force. Then you will have to take help of physics. That is why I say that geography is related to natural sciences and social sciences. From interdisciplinary approach, we need to tackle these concepts. One thing, when you might have observed, when students study at graduation level or post-graduation level, till then they just ask how many latitudes and longitudes are there on the globe. No need to ask these questions. that how many n number of latitudes and longitudes can be drawn on the globe. And North Pole and South Pole are latitude or longitude? Ask them. So first we need to understand whether North Pole and South Pole are latitude or longitude, which these North Pole and South Pole come under latitudes. These are points. These are not lines, these are points. These are two reference points. Tropic of so gradually first ask them to identify, locate these latitudes and longitudes and prime meridian, because these concepts, these location, they help them to understand other concepts, whether these are related to climate, these are related to other location of different countries, location of different continents. We are talking about climate change. When students and teachers will not have an understanding of location, latitude, longitude, their extent, different regions, natural regions which are found on the earth, how will they be able to understand the concept of climate change? So gradual in the beginning at upper primary stage in class 6 we have introduced this concept, and when we were identifying these concepts for learning outcomes or for module, this NISHTHA module, we just reviewed all the textbook syllabuses of different states. We found that this concept has been given either in primary classes or at upper primary stage. So in Andhra Pradesh also we found that this concept is given. Only you need to teach this concept with love, because you have to love your profession.
That's right.
When you will love your profession, you like your profession, you love this teaching learning process, you want to involve children in teaching learning process, then only students will be able to learn this concept and teaching learning environment may be created. So I will discuss about these concepts and other things in geography also and other subjects also. Now I request Professor Srivastav to throw light on history.
Thank you, Aparna, and I draw clues from what Aparna has said, that without passion you cannot do anything. So a passionate teacher will already make the classroom alive. I tell you something, when you look back at your students' days, there are certain classes which we keep on wanting to remember,
Right.
and we don't want to forget. It's not only the subject that was transacted, but your persona in the classroom adds a lot.
Right.
The way you talk, the way you move, the way you touch and your eye contact, to me they convey powerful messages of sensitivity.
Absolutely.
You can make a child wanted and diswanted in the class. Now coming to the subject of history, it's the past that we are discussing about. I have not seen and you have not seen. Of course, today also will become history when we shift to the other day. But when we are teaching the textbook, what do we focus upon? We focus upon sources. It is there in your NISHTHA module. Variety of sources that help us to unravel a period where we want the child to actually reflect upon and ponder and go back. So when you talk about sources, you need to make the child understand that there are multiple sources to understand what actually happened at a particular point of time. Now for example, some of them are reflected in your textual material, because every theme you have a box item or in the text talking about sources. We'll make the child understand that the theme that has been discussed is being connected with a source. Now sources are many. The first classification, I think you know about it, is the secondary source, which is based on a primary source. Now what makes a source primary? Primary because it belongs to that particular period in which it was written or either found. Now we have text, literary text, that are very important because they give us not only about the literature that has been written, which I and you are reading, it also throws light on the period where the author of the text was writing. What was society like? And many of our researches have been done through these literary works because they talk about what society was. But they are partial because they do not give the entire gamut of the period. Therefore, you need to consult archaeological sources. Archaeological sources are tangible cultural heritage of our country, and there are different types of monuments. You know that there are monuments that are related with the ruling classes, there are monuments that are related with religion, there are other kinds of monument which shows how people lived. So there are variety of monuments that are there, but they also help us in knowing the past. So literary text along with archaeological, they help us to know the past. These are two sources, and I am sure you must be showing the children visually as well as definitely not in this pandemic, but before that you must have taken the children to the field visit. When they see the monument, it is actually trying them to understand that during that particular point of time, what was the material used for the building, who were the craftsperson, then from where were the goods coming, how much time it took for the building to be built and standing to this day. What makes it so robust that today we still see them with lot of glory as in our eyes, as well as take pride that they are our heritage. So you can see what archaeological sources can help us do. It will also help children to get sensitivity of how to preserve and conserve them as a part of our culture repository. Then the other sources is numismatic, that is coinage. Now all of us are very happy when we see coins. I have got some contemporary coins which we are using it every day in our systems of exchange. Now when we see these coins, I think it should come to our mind, what is the metallic worth of this coin? Okay, what is written here? So when you see a contemporary coin and go back in time, so it's not just what is there on the coin that is important, it's the metallic worth. So a coin connotes so many things. One, the metallic worth, the inscriptions on the coin, and how did these coins facilitate exchanges. Do you know something, when you talk about numismatic, you must not only tell them what the early coinage was, like you have the punch mark coins, but at the same time you must try to give them the kind of changes that are taking place. History teaching is not only about the past, but constantly dialoguing between the past and present. Today we are moving from the punch, we are going to the metallic, then now we are using the digital methods of payment. So look at the journey that we have taken. So when you want to make the subject interesting, a source can have the past as well as the present. It will make child very interesting. You can take this numismatic to trade, to economy, you can do wealth of interlinkages, it's up to you. Then we come to another source, that is inscription, which is given in your module. We have inserted a picture also, because inscriptions also throw light on society as well as what were the important developments taking place. A variety of inscriptions have been found, which also adds on to a body of information knowing about our past heritage. Then we have newspapers. Of course, they belong more to the contemporary time, and when you talk about the freedom movement, it's very interesting to know that they were not only in English and Hindi, they were in variety of regional languages, giving people's aspiration and hope. So that is also a good way of knowing what people's perceptions were. So there are variety of materials that you can consult and weave, and you can ask the children that, well, we are talking about this theme, can you find out more about sources that are available in your nearby location? Sometimes when you narrate an episode of in a classroom, many of the children have oral repositories in their households. There are grandparents who will add to the body of knowledge. For example, when we talk of price, they will say during my time this for particular
This
thing
used to be this way, yeah.
the price was this.
Right.
Similarly, if they were part of the freedom struggle, they will give you the emotional connect. So history is about using sources. Many of our books already have captions of sources with text questions given under them. So it's not just telling them about sources, but raising their curiosity, asking them to pose questions so that they critically understand that multiplicity of sources will help in unraveling the past that you and I would like to engage with. You can talk about bills of exchange. Hundi was a bills of exchange that was used to transact huge amount of money, and today you know how we are transacting money. We have so many methods, and therefore when we talk about the past and present, history comes alive, and I'm sure you can do it. So this is what we have built in our module while you are looking at it and transacting it. Then the secondary sources which you will find many times you are using in the classroom are like cartoons, which I would like to show you. They sometimes try to add humor to what you are trying to say, and at the same time they have different languages. So you have yourself, you can see that it is entirely you who can make the classroom come alive. Then you have pictures of monuments which you can show. I have this monument, but you can contextualize, because when you give the contextualized picture, the children can relate to it. So this is a fourth picture that I am showing you just as an example. You can add on to what you are saying, what you are telling. Then the one newspaper clipping that I wanted to share with you, I have just culled it out because it talks about people's perception, and this is I have taken it from a paper. People worship trees where 1857 heroes were hanged. So newspaper also, you can make a collage and you can ask children to make project work on it. At the same time, you must tell them that they give a partial notion to what you are engaging with them, but at the same time they should be able to make collages. Then diagrams can be made. You can use a lot of map, like Aparna has just talked about latitude and longitude. Maps are very important because any historical event that takes place in a particular location, and therefore you can give a small activity to the child that what is the name today, that the place that you are trying to explain. So again the child will relate with the past and present in terms of the names. Apart from that, what you can do is you can also do a lot of activities in the class through sources. You can do group work, pair work, so that the children take a particular source, explore what the sources say, and when you do pair work, remember you are also inculcating the value of respecting the people's view. You are also promoting the caring and sharing among them, and therefore a subject can have multi-dimensional perspectives added to it. Would you like to add on to that?
Yeah, few things I would like to say that when we are talking about teaching learning of social sciences, we should keep in mind that NCERT always emphasizes on inclusive education, to promote inclusive education in the classroom, and for that I would like to show you, this is a model which we have developed in NCERT. You can use such type of model or develop such type of model. It's not very complicated, to help children with special needs to understand latitude and longitude. Different colors are there, they may identify, and all children, not only children with special needs, all children in the classroom, they will enjoy such type of materials. So it is better to develop such materials, use any ball and use threads and paste these threads on these balls. and ask them to count how many latitudes, longitudes are there, which are latitudes, which are longitude, where is prime meridian, where are tropics. So all these things you can discuss in the classroom, keeping in mind differently abled children or children with special needs. Another thing which I would like to discuss, nowadays we are talking about ICT, and in this era, digital education time, we have given an example of a School Bhuvan NCERT portal in the module. So how to use this portal to explain the concept latitude and longitude and students, you may use atlas maps, but how, if infrastructure facilities are available, internet facilities are available, we have developed a portal, School Bhuvan NCERT portal, in collaboration with National Remote Sensing Center, which is a constituent unit of Indian Space Research Organization, is located in Hyderabad, you might be knowing. And with the help of this organization, we have developed this School Bhuvan NCERT portal especially for school students and teachers. So I would like to throw light on this slide, which we have I have developed only for this program, how to use this portal, just to make you aware. I think you may the map of Andhra Pradesh, and you can recognize all districts are there. You can identify your district, locate your district, and this model is also there, how students are using this model to understand latitude and longitude in the classroom. The next slide. Yeah, this is location through GPS. When you GPS is already there in your smartphone, when you will on your GPS in your mobile, then you can see latitude and longitude. So this latitude, longitude, when I was sitting in my office, I just show. I have. Can you read aloud this latitude and longitude which is written here?
Yes, I can read, ma'am. It says 28 degrees, 32.
Only 8 degrees.
28 degrees.
And then 28 degrees north.
28 degrees north, yes.
And then east.
And 77 degrees east.
77 degree east. So our institute is located on 20, even Delhi, we can say that 28 degree north and 77 degrees east. The next slide. So you can, with the help of GPS, this app based services, you can explain the importance of latitude and longitude. When you will open this School Bhuvan NCERT portal, this is the home page of NCERT, School Bhuvan NCERT portal. Several thematic maps on this portal. The next slide. And this is help materials are also available here. For different levels, activities have been included for level 1, level 2, level 3. So according to the level of students, whether they are studying in upper primary stage or higher secondary stage or secondary stage, the students can do different types of activities. They can draw neighborhood maps on satellite imageries. And I would like to highlight here that this portal, this is a real example of Atmanirbhar Bharat, because all satellite imageries which are available in GPS, they are from the US, United States of America. Whatever satellite imageries, whatever services we are using in GPS, they are being provided by United States of America. Wherever, whereas when we are using this School Bhuvan NCERT portal, the satellite imageries which are available on this portal have been taken by our satellites which have been launched by ISRO. These satellites are Cartosat 1 and Cartosat 2. So all these information which are being provided by ISRO are have been captured by our satellites. We have developed our maps, or other organization, government organizations have developed maps. So in that sense, we can say that this is the real example of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Then next, and this is the location of Prakasam district. You can see latitude, longitude. In this portal, I would like to say that because this is based on GIS, Geographical Information System, first longitude is given and then latitude. So there should not be confusion. Then this is 79 degree east and latitude is 15 degree north. So wherever you will put your cursor, you will move your cursor on this satellite imagery, it will show you the latitude and longitude, exact latitude and longitude of that place. Then next, and this is the location of Machilipatnam. Machilipatnam. So when you will show this imagery on the globe, these all these things, all details are not available. But when you will show all these things on Schoolborn NCERT portal on satellite imageries, you can explain that this place is located between two great deltas, Godavari Delta and Krishna Delta, on the coastal area. So all these information can be explained with the help of latitude, longitude, location, specific location and relative location. Next. And then if you want to go from Vijayawada to Leh, this navigation service is also available. This navigation, you can say that it is also available on Google. Yes, I agree that it is available, but Google is not our portal. This is again, this service is being provided by the US, United States of America. But on this portal, whatever services are being provided by ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, the information about latitude and longitude, the information about the distance, all these things are available on our satellite imageries. And when you will ask, you can see that Vijayawada is situated on about 70 degree north and Leh is on about 34 degree north. Then you can pose some questions. Then the difference between how many latitudes will be between Vijayawada and Leh. Then this you can link it with other subjects. You are linking it with mathematics. They are going to count. Then you can ask what type of features, natural features or physical features you will observe when you will go from Vijayawada to Leh. No need to memorize. Ask them to zoom in this imagery and observe different rivers, ponds, mountains. So many things are there in between. So you should also enjoy with the students and learn with the students, because this is a next generation, and we will have to learn with the students, because I think that they are faster than us. So we should not shy away and we should learn with them.
Very true. I agree with Aparna. And Aparna has done also very interesting work of stories through map.
Stories through
and
map.
And that was had received a lot of popularity. Aparna, I would just add on to it that while you're showing latitude and longitude, don't forget historical sites.
Yeah, sure.
That can also be added to it.
Right.
So
Sure.
it's 2 in 1. You're using the satellite imagery, using it for geography and locating history. This is how you link two subjects.
Sure, sure.
Having the interface of technology.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of everything. I think here, because I can see many of the viewers are asking for the portfolio. So can we discuss portfolio here? After that we can take up 2-3 questions if you say.
I would like to throw light on this one more topic on livelihood.
Yeah.
Please, please.
One module is also given on
Okay.
livelihood. So I would ask you to shift on this. On this portal you can see administrative districts of India. Okay, all districts of India on this portal. The next slide. These are the districts of Andhra Pradesh. These are all administrative units. And Andhra Pradesh is a coastal region.
Right.
Andhra Pradesh, there are 2 deltas, River Godavari Delta and River Krishna Delta. So this is an agriculture region. This is one of the most fertile regions of India. For rice cultivation, especially for paddy cultivation.
And it was also a seat of a very famous empire, the Vijayanagar
Sure,
Empire.
Vijayanagar and Satvahans and several others
right.
When you will start from ancient history to modern history. Then not only agriculture region, this is a coastal area. So marine aquaculture is also developed in this area. People, main occupation is, they are engaged in marine aquaculture,
activities, yes.
fishing, agriculture. Then this is also a very good industrial area. So many industries are concentrated here. This is a port region, so obviously the ports are developed here. Visakhapatnam port is here. So you can, and one thing, this cottage industries, this area was known for cottage industries, but when you will read history, you will find that during British period, so many cottage industries, their development, they declined because of the policies of British policies. and here indigo was also cultivated here, and it's in Champaran, Bihar, and in this area in Andhra Pradesh was also known for indigo cultivation. So I ask teachers, when you will discuss about livelihood in the classroom, ask students to collect information from their parents, from their grandparents, that in what type of, if they, and discuss in the classroom that in which occupation their parents or grandparents were engaged, and what was their income, what is their standard of living.
Adding on to what Aparna has said, you can also take children outside the classroom and ask them what are the types of occupation that are there in their region. You can add a gender dimension to it by asking them who does what are the occupation done by women and what are the occupation done by men. And agriculture is one where you can pose a question, who does sowing, who does weeding, who does harvesting, who does winnowing. The answer is there. Then you can ask another question, that when household work is done, are women paid or not? Is income saved, income earned? How interesting a chapter of livelihood can become. Then livelihood of the past and livelihood of the present. It's given in the module. We have given a lot of activities that you can do, a small table also showing what are the, to identify what are the different types of livelihood in rural areas as well as urban areas, what type of job a woman is doing, what type of job a man is doing, men are doing, whether it is paid or unpaid. Then you can add another dimension to it, that in changing times, many of our men and women have joined the service sector.
Right.
Now when they have joined the service sector, what is the access of technology? How many of them are using technology? How many of them are not? So variety of activities can be done from a theme like livelihood. It could become a historical concern, it could have a geographical dimension when we are locating it in a region, as Aparna has just spoken about it, and contemporize it in the time and seeing how livelihood contributes to the economy of the place. So this is how past, present and a futuristic approach to a subject can be made in a domain like social sciences.
Right, Professor.
Yes, and I would like to show one more slide here, which I have collected from IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, that this early warning system, that marine forecast, and a few days back there was a heavy rainfall in Mumbai, and there was flood in the city areas, and so many urban areas were inundated. At that time you can see the eastern coast is calm, totally calm. So on this slide you can, so such type of information are available on different websites. So a student, you can collect information, you should have an understanding that there are some sites which provide such information for different occupations also, those who go for high seas for fishing. So these evacuation, some early warning systems are available. So this technology has been developed. We cannot control these rainfall, but we can just see this. We can these alert system, these alerts, warning systems are available.
We can
so
keep
with the help
prepared
of
in that way.
Yes, and evacuation plans may be planned accordingly.
Right.
So such information should be given to students also, and try to involve students in this teaching learning
That's
process.
what we are saying repeatedly, to make this learning out, amicable for a classroom environment should be lovely. Love should be given from the teachers to students, then only this learning can be good. And coming to the questions, I guess, Professor, we just have 5-6 minutes left.
You have a
portfolio is to be given, that's necessary.
In the module also we have discussed about portfolio. When we talk about portfolio, that means we just want to check progress of students, that how much they have progressed, and we want to keep a record so that we can plan our teaching learning accordingly, that
Right.
whether students have understood this concept or not. Like first thing is, ask students to identify latitude and longitude, whether they can differentiate between latitude or longitude or not, whether they can differentiate that the vertical lines or horizontal lines. Then this is the first stage. Then second stage is, when they have identified, then ask them what are major latitudes and major prime meridian or other longitudes,
Okay.
international date line. So what are these? So can they classify these? First is identify, locate, and then there is classification. Then we can give them some latitudes and longitudes and ask them to locate these countries or these areas on the globe or on the map or on satellite imageries. So then we can understand that gradually students are progressing, they have learned this concept. So this is portfolio, and for each and every student, teacher should keep this record, then only they can plan their activities.
Right.
Similarly, you can use it for other subjects of social sciences to know where you have to pitch in more, and this will help the students to understand it in their later stage and probably get more involved and take social science as a career in
Of course, of
in
course.
their later life.
Professor Pandey, here I would like to ask you, because since beginning we have been discussing latitude, longitude, we have shown the beautiful what students have made, that also. So as because we teach this concept of latitude, longitude from very primary, upper primary level, so does it helps in learning geography as a whole?
Yeah. In geography, this is one of the basic concepts, one of the core
Okay.
concepts, location. If you do not have understanding of location, you will not be able to understand why temperature is hot in these areas and why temperature is cold in these areas. Why temperature is decreasing. They just memorize that Leh's temperature is very low in Leh and Vijayawada is very hot. Why? Why is it so? Why temperature is high in Vijayawada and temperature is low in Kashmir or in Sikkim? There is a reason behind it. So this is a cause and effect relationship, what Professor Srivastava had discussed. So when they have understanding of location, when they have understanding of equator, when they have understanding of rays of solar sun rays which fall on the earth's face, whether they fall directly or they are slanted, so then they will have understanding that why such resources are found here, why such type of vegetation are found on latitude, on tropical regions or in temperate regions. So these are different climatic regions.
Right.
Probably I
Then
think
why these resources are found in this area, why is these trade and commerce, all these things are based on location.
So that's really necessary.
This is very necessary to understand specific location and relative
Right.
location.
Absolutely.
When we are saying that Machilipatnam, the location of this is latitude and longitude, this is a specific location, and when we are saying that Machilipatnam is situated between two river deltas, it is situated on the coastal area, then we can say this is a relative location.
Absolutely, that's really wonderful to know. Here a question for Professor Srivastava. Many viewers are using this term, which has been already used in module, plurality of approaches. So can you please throw some light on this?
there
What
are-
does that mean?
see, plurality of approaches means there are different ways to understand our past, isn't
Okay.
it? It's not focusing on just one. It's trying to use variety of ways, like understanding visuals, understanding the content,
Right.
then trying to find out that if there are certain personalities linked with a particular time span. So if they have meaningfully contributed, we need to also look into it. So plurality of approach also centers around plurality of availability of material.
Okay.
The way we teach also should be one that involves participation. It could be role play, it could be team teaching, it could be collaborative learning. So you know your class more, which approach works best, you are able to understand. There is no one way that only team teaching can help, or dramatization can, or role play. All of this you must have done in your pre-service training.
Right,
But
right.
when we use an approach in the classroom, we must make it very clear, the approach as well as the material should engage the child to understand that the past is a past which has to be understood from multi-dimensional perspective.
Right.
For example, if I am talking about a travel account, the traveler must have understood the society from his or her perspective. Then we need to substantiate it with the available archaeological sources, the other text material that are available. So a holistic understanding of that particular time span can be taken into account. But
Right.
first the sources have to be available.
Right.
All this I am talking a bit in a generalized manner, but it is related with the theme under progression.
Okay. So you said repeatedly that these educational excursions, I guess,
Yeah.
are really important in learning of social science. I guess Professor Pandey can also relate to it, that in terms of social science,
Yes,
educational
of course.
excursions for kids, for students, although we are in pandemic time, we
Yeah.
cannot take them out, but on a later stage to learn
Yes.
either geography or history or maybe political science.
See, nothing can substantiate experiential learning. Yes, we were yesterday discussing about virtual tours.
Virtual
which we
tours.
Virtual
said
tours
that,
these days,
These
yes,
days
yes.
we can help.
It's
the
very
children
common.
these
yeah,
days.
Yeah, it's very common.
Because you see, one is relating the text with the context, making teaching joyful and engaging, and giving the child a feel what it is to be in the field. Because as she very rightly said, that child has to first touch, walk through the muddy terrain to know what the
Yeah,
soil is
absolutely.
like, and feel that if
I guess all the 5 senses would work
Yeah,
in
that's
these
right.
educational excursions.
That's correct.
And learning becomes easy.
Yeah.
And that it was really wonderful. The discussion was very nice. And I guess our scholars must have gained a lot out of it. And I'll like to tell you here that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, these modules will be discussed for our scholars, and Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday will be the repeat telecast for the same module. And to both the guests, NCERT Kishore Manch offers deep gratitude towards both of you for giving your generous support for this module discussion. Thank you. Thanks
you,
for
Devi.
joining today.
Thank you.
So viewers, keep watching these live module discussions on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank you. Namaskar.